Hello and welcome to Oxford. That's right, I've left the hustle and bustle of London behind me and I'm here to explore the world of hat making. Now it's incredibly exciting because I've been invited exclusive access into the CHRISTYS factory. Now these guys have been making hats for hundreds of years. They are absolutely beautiful and so I'm very lucky to be getting an exclusive view into their world. Let's go check it out. Joined by Steve Clark, and Steve is the Managing Director here at CHRISTYS Hats. Hello.
Hello there, very welcome.
Thank you so much for having us here today. I'm really excited because I don't really know that much about hats, to be honest, so I'm hoping you're going to give me a really good insight into your world.
Absolutely, yeah, with pleasure.
And can you tell me a little bit about CHRISTYS Hats? Tell me about the brand, how long you've been around, and a little bit about your history.
Certainly, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of history. It could take a long time. We're 241 years old. Wow. So we were founded in 1773 by a chap called Miller Christie, who was in the era when everybody wore a hat. He was a very well-known hatter who set up in London, originated from Scotland, in fact, and literally through 8 generations of the Christie family, that family, or the Christies, took this company to become the biggest hat maker in the world.
Tell me a little bit about the styles of hat, because I don't really know the names. Are there many names? I know I've seen like bowler hats, top hats. Yeah. What kind of names and designs have you got here?
Okay, so kind of it falls into about 4 core areas, if you like. So we have stiff hats, which are the bowlers and the top hats, who are stiffened with shellac, very stiff. We have the felt hats, and that can be either wool felt or fur felt. You know, we'll make the classic trilby styles. You then have Panamas made from the tequila straw from Ecuador, and then finally the caps, of which there's a huge variety of sort of styles and materials and fabrications that we would use. But we make all of them here, and actually there's a 5th style, which are the police helmets and the police caps, which we also make. But again, you wouldn't see everybody walking down the street wearing those.
Steve, tell me about where we are and what's about to happen, what we're going to see.
Okay, so we're in the felt hat making section, and the first stage, the first process that Dave's going to take us through here is to size the hood. So we take a felt hood, we put it in the steamer, we introduce steam to the process, to the hood, make it soft and malleable, and then we put a crown block in, a sizing block, and that basically tells the felt hood what size it's going to be in the end. So a 54 centimetre or a 58 centimetre, depending on the final, the shape or the size of the final hat. So this is the next stage, and this is where we actually introduce the shape into the crown. So what Dave is using here is the hand setter. He's put it's a size 57, and he's put a crown shape into the hand setter, closes it up, introduces steam.
Steve, tell me through the process that we've just seen.
So what you've just seen is called pouncing. So what we do there is it looks pretty much as though we've just ruined all the good work we did to the crown before, but in fact what the pouncing machine does is with sandpaper apply a very even finish across the surface of the hood. Once you finish with the pouncing machine, it moves on to what we call the luring machine, and that applies a wax, and that gives it that lovely soft finish for the final, or you'll see when it hits its final stage. Okay.
So can you tell me about this next step here?
The next step is to give the crown, so it's the sort of the last major step, if you like, for finishing the crown. It's not quite finished at the end of it. It's put on the fast wheel and given a buff just to get the nice even surface. What will happen at the very end is it will be steamed to give it a beautiful finish. So you haven't quite seen the finished article yet, but the major steps of the crown, or making the crown, are now complete, and we can move on to doing the brim. So what we have in the next stage is what we call the first rounding, and that effectively is a small razor blade which removes the majority of the excess felt on the brim. So it brings it to within 1/8 of an inch, or about 1/2 centimetre, to where the final brim size will be, and then we move over to curling the brim. Okay, so the next phase is we start working on the brim, and the first task that we need to do is to introduce the curl to the brim, depending on what the ultimate curl is going to be. So we put it on the curling machine, and literally just using steam and the knowledge of the craftsman introduces the initial curl. So it's not the final curl, it's just enough curl so that the hat, or the brim of the hat, fits snugly onto the wooden flange. So he's tying a piece of muslin over the top.
Why did he put muslin on it?
So basically he's going to iron it, so he doesn't want to end up with a rub mark on the felt. So he irons it, and making sure there's no creases in there. Obviously you don't want to put any creases. And then he lifts up the flange machine, which is full of hot sand. He brings that down on top of the wood with the felt trapped in between, and that gives the final curl onto the brim of the trilby.
I love it, thank you so much. And guys, you've seen the full hat making process here at Christie's. Amazing. It's been an amazing afternoon here in Oxford, where I've been learning everything there is to know about hat making, and what an incredible process. I never really took the time to appreciate how much work goes into a handmade hat, and the results and the beauty of the final product is really evident. I loved the use of the different colours, whether they were made in that fantastic fur or the more traditional felt style hats. All of them were incredible, and Christie's are such a unique and wonderful brand. You can find them in Liberties if you want to get your hands on one and look simply amazing for the colder months. Or even over the summer with one of those beautiful Panama hats. There's something for every style, occasion or event, and you guys will look absolutely sensational. I never thought that hats suited me, but even I was lucky enough to find 1 or 2 styles that I definitely will be taking home with me. But sadly, that's all I've got time for today. You've been watching me exclusively on the network, where we bring you the hottest fashion events straight from the United Kingdom. If there's anything you would like to see in the future, please do get in touch with me, because I would love to hear from you. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.